Bienvenidos. Yo soy el limpio afeitador. Tengo agotado mi español vocabulario. Soy necesario a uso traductor de Google.
Shave it up!
Hello and welcome everybody to today's video. It is Friday again, which means I have another review video for you today. And this one I was really pleasantly surprised by. And that is from a little known company called Archaic Alchemy. And let's go ahead and get into the shave. I am actually going to shave and talk today, which is always a risky thing for me, but we're going to do it anyway. So, we are going to be using Archaic Alchemy, and then I also have a 3D printed metal razor from Charcoal Goods that I will be trying out, and I apologize to the maker, Brian, who is the owner. I've had this thing in my den for like 2 months because I said that I was going to review it and give him some thoughts on it, and I never did, and I was supposed to send it back to him a while ago, so hopefully this will make up for it. I'm using it. Sorry, Brian. I'll get it back to you. I have just showered, and so my skin should be nicely hydrated. We'll see how it goes. And I'm going to be using, at first, I'll be using this satin tip synthetic brush. Really nice synthetic brush for the price. I'll also be using, for subsequent passes, I'll be using a badger brush and a board brush to kind of show you the difference in how the soap reacts to different brushes. But let's go ahead and use the synthetic first. Now, let's talk about the soap. So, the owner of Archaic Alchemy, at least I assume he's the owner, I didn't technically ask him, come to think of it, but his name is Emiliano Martinez, I believe. He reached out to me on my Facebook page, and he asked if he could send me some soap to try out and give him my thoughts on it. And so I did receive this soap for free, and I leave that out there and let you know that I did not pay for this soap, but I will give it my best to review it regardless. You can see the soap is just going nuts on here. And so he sent me the soap, and this particular scent is called Eureka. Eureka, of course, is exclamation from, who was it that first said it? I want to say Aristotle or Socrates, one of those famous smart guys from that age. Shows you how much of a history buff I am. One of those guys said, Eureka, I have found it. And I believe the reason he named this soap Eureka is because of the scent. Now this is a fougere scent, and it's a lovely fougere scent actually. I really, really like it. My wife's not a huge fan of it, which I find odd, but she just doesn't appreciate the finer things in life, I guess. But, so they sent me 2 soaps actually. He sent me the Eureka, and then he also sent me Citrus Mint, which I was very intrigued by. But as we go through the shave here, I'll explain to you. Now you can see this lather is building up very nicely. I mean, how thick that is. It's awesome. And I'm not really having to work it that much. It just paints on. I mean, it's literally about the consistency of whipped cream. It's really, really nice. Let's go ahead and talk about how it shaves. Okay? So, yeah, or actually, let's just talk about the actual soap here for a second. I haven't shaved in a couple days, so I'm going to use the open comb side of this first. Okay, so this soap, like I mentioned, it's made in Mexico, which is awesome. In case you couldn't tell by my intro, I don't actually speak Spanish. I had to use Google Translate. The extent of my knowledge of Spanish is from 7th grade Spanish. I took 2 semesters and nearly failed it because I didn't like the teacher, mostly. Not because it was necessarily too hard, I hated the teacher. I wanted her to go somewhere and burn at the time. She's a nice enough lady now, I know that, but I was also a punk teenager and didn't like her. So, anyway, back to the soap. Came from Mexico, and very, very pleasantly surprised by it. It's actually a vegan soap. There's no animal product in it whatsoever. I thought for sure it would be tallow based, but it's not. It's actually the ingredients, they're all in Spanish on the label, but thanks again to my friend Google Translate, I was able to make some sense of it. It's castor oil, stearic acid, shea butter, mango butter, distilled water. I'm trying to remember the translation from the label here. Anyway, let's do it with the Badger and see how it does. Anyway, so yeah, it came from Mexico and really very pleasantly surprised by the soap. I really enjoyed using this. The thing about this soap, and I think the reason why he named it Eureka is because of its scent. This soap smells, like I said, it's a fougere, and to my knowledge, to my recollection, it smells just like Martin de Condre's fougere. Now, I will, look at that, holy crap. I will note that I don't actually own it. I have used it, but I don't own Martin de Condre fougere. To my recollection, this is very, very similar, and I really, really like it. I believe that's why they call it Eureka, because it's so close, and that Martin de Condre fougere is such a highly regarded scent, and it came so close that I would have done the same thing. I would have shouted Eureka. I found it. I've done it. See? Nice lather with the Badger too. Let's go ahead and do the across the grain pass here. Now, any of you that have watched my soap reviews, I haven't done one in a while, know that I grade on 4 things. Okay, first is lather, of which there is plenty. Second is post-shave feel. Third is scent. And then fourth is value. Now let's go ahead and talk about some of the points here. So lather. As you could see, when I was lathering it, just loading the brush, this soap explodes into lather. Just so easily. It's really remarkable. And the quality of the lather was also very, very good. I mean, you saw the thickness of it and how little I had to work it. Well, I nicked myself a little bit. That's what happens when I talk when I'm shaving. Okay. Very thick, very creamy lather, very protective, very slick. And with such little effort, which is really quite astounding. The only hiccup with it is that if you're not careful, you can overhydrate it and break it down. That tipping point seems to be pretty easily hit and without trying. And so I did have to knock it down a little bit for that. Other than that, I love the lather. I really, really like it. And so I gave it a 9. I think anybody would be very happy with the lather that I'm getting from this soap. Now that being said, I have found that some brushes work better for it than others. For instance, that synthetic, actually the synthetic that I used most of the time with it, it was a Shave Revolution synthetic that now unfortunately well, not unfortunately, I guess, it's on loan to my brother right now, so I don't have it with me. But the synthetic that I used just earlier with the satin tip works very, very well. The Badgers also worked very well. The bore knots tended to require a bit more work. Didn't seem to bust out in lather quite as easily. So just be aware of that. Yeah, see, the bore knots take a bit more work to really puff it up and get it that thickness that I really like with the Badger and the synthetic. And so I did knock it down just a little bit for that. And for the that precarious tipping point, so to speak. So if it weren't for those 2 little things, I would have to give it a 10. I really, really like it. Post-shave feel. So post-shave feel, I gave this soap an 8. I'll tell you why. Okay, it does have a good post-shave feel. It doesn't dry me out. It doesn't necessarily cause anything bad to happen. I did notice though, I just felt like it wasn't deserving of the 10 rank because I know of other soaps that do leave a better post-shave feel. Such as Katie's Bubbles, Soap Commander. I think they do just a little bit better job of nourishing the skin. Or this still leaves a good feel. It's just not on par with some other soaps that I think it could be. So I gave it an 8. Scent. Scent is a very subjective thing, right? I can tell you what I get from it, but somebody might get something else. And so it's hard to really tell what to expect from it. Scent strength on this, I would say I'd put it on a scale of 1 to 10. I'd say probably 6.5 to 7. It's fairly strong. In fact, my bathroom is filled with the smell of fougere, which is not a bad thing. And I really, really like the scent. So if any of you have smelled Martin de Candre fougere, you'll know what I'm talking about. And it's a wonderful scent. I really, really dig it. I think a lot of other people will too. It's not overly earthy or woody, which I think a lot of fougeres tend to be. And so that's a plus for me. So for scent, because it's such a dead ringer to me for Martin de Candre, I gave it a 10, which I think it's absolutely deserving of. It is a wonderful scent, and you can tell I just got a great shave with him. I did have a little nick right there, but that was, I think, more the razor than anything. Now, value. Actually, before I get to that, I do have a couple other points on scent. Now, see what I'm talking about with the, granted this is on my head, and I don't have a lot of hair up here to catch the lather, so you can see it's getting a little bit thin up there, but on the sides, it really does pretty well. On the note of the scent, I think they absolutely nailed it. With the citrus mint, however, I think it's too minty. It's really, really minty. I don't really get much citrus from it at all, personally. And it's really nice. It's a refreshing, minty, wake you up kind of shave. Really nice. But if that's not your thing, I probably wouldn't recommend it. I'm going to add a little bit more soap to the brush here. That being said, there are some other scents. There's a tobacco scent as well as a lavender. I'm not big on either of those, and so I decided to not, when they gave me the option for scents, I decided to not go with either of them. The fougere really intrigued me, and the citrus mint really intrigued me as well. But they've just come out with another one, which is called Mictlan. I don't know how to pronounce that, Mictlan, which is supposed to be reminiscent of Dia de los Muertos, I believe, the Day of the Dead, in Mexico, which apparently there's this big festival and all this kind of stuff going on, and it has elements from those traditions, from those celebrations, into the scent. And so I think people that might be of Latin American heritage may really like that scent. You'd probably have to be a bit of a foodie scent kind of person to dig it, but when he told me about it, I was like, ooh, that sounds kind of cool, actually. I don't have it, so I don't know what it really smells like, but there's going to be some spicy elements, like some cinnamon and some chocolate, and sounds pretty cool. Let's go on to value. So, value, this soap, the Eureka soap, price-wise, it comes in at 175 pesos. Those of you who are in tune with the latest exchange rates, that comes to $8.61 for a 4-ounce soap. So we're looking at just over $2 an ounce. It's a pretty good deal, especially for something that smells like this and performs like this. It's a wonderful deal, actually. And so I gave it a 10. In fact, this has me thinking that this soap might just be the best thing to come out of Mexico since tacos. No, don't quote me on that. Besides, that might be offensive to some people. I'm not trying to offend. And to be fair, I've never been to Mexico. I mean, which I do need to remedy that. But I have been to Chile. It's basically the same place, right? Chile's a wonderful place. Loved my time there, but I know it's not the same as Mexico. Anyway, so that brings our total to 37 out of 40, which is a 92.5%. So again, those of you who are good at math, well, I just did the math for you. 92.5% is A minus. I'm going to say A minus in this case, because it's just below that 93 mark. An A minus. This is a really good soap, especially for the price. I think those are the two big things, as reflected in the points, that really make it stand out. This scent is really, really good. I love it. And the value, I mean, when you get a soap like that lathers like this, that has a scent like this for $2 an ounce, that's nuts. That's really, really good. There are a couple things with this soap, a couple little hitches if you want to purchase it. The only place that you can buy it is from him on Facebook. So you go to you find Archaic Alchemy on Facebook, and then you message him, you email him, and say that you'd like to purchase some soap, and you tell him what you'd like, and he'll send you a PayPal invoice for it. I know that he said he's working on getting a website store up. I don't think it's up just yet. It might be by now, by the time you're watching this, I guess, if it's later than the release date. I'd highly recommend checking them out, because that cost for a soap that is of this high quality is really remarkable. I think he could probably charge quite a bit more than what he is. While I'm finishing up here, if you have any questions for me about the soap, go ahead and put them down in the question section below. I'll do my best to answer them, but if you have any direct questions about the soap, the best person to go and talk to is Emiliano from Archaic Alchemy. So I'll put a link to their Facebook page down in the description below as well. I want to do something kind of fun because I received these soaps for free. I would like to give away the Citrus Mint, okay? The Citrus Mint soap, to anybody who's interested. What I want you to do is comment down below and tell me, what is your favorite thing to come out of Mexico? It could be tacos, fajitas, or things that aren't food. I don't know. But tell me what's your favorite thing to come from Mexico. I will pick somebody at random next week and award the Citrus Mint soap to them as a Thanksgiving gift, because it's going to be the weekend after Thanksgiving. So Black Friday, I guess, will be the day that'll be given away. So that's it for me, everybody. And while I'm finishing up here, don't forget to find me on all my social media outlets on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Google+, Snapchat, Voicebyte, Kick, and I'm on Reddit now, which is a new thing for me. Little fish in a big pond over there. And shout out to my Reddit guys. You can find me on Reddit as well, if you haven't already. And looking forward to interacting with some good folks over there. So that's it for my video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, favorite, share if you want to, and make sure that you comment down below to win the Citrus Mint soap from Archaic Alchemy in next week's video. So thanks everybody for watching. Be smooth and shave it up. We'll see you next time.